Hi, Noel. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Very good. Well, I can't complain. I'm excited to be talking to you. I'm a big fan of your work.
Oh, thank you very much, sir.
So let's talk about Storage 24.
Sure.
You know, right off the bat, most of the films that you've written so far have been more, relationship, character-driven kind of drama type stuff. What inspired you to kind of switch gears and make a monster movie?
Well, I mean, weirdly, it came from the same place in the respect that the idea originally came from the fact that my wife and myself were going to storage facilities, and I was walking around with my then 1 year, he was one at the time, while she was doing whatever she was doing, and kind of just thinking about the family time and how scary it would be to be stuck in there, and what you would do to protect your kids and whatever, and thought, imagine there was a serial killer in there. So that was the original idea, that there was a serial killer in this place, and and then one morning I woke up and that's ludicrous. Serial killer, an alien, that makes more sense. Literally, and I was like, that actually for me makes a more interesting movie, because I've seen the serial type killer thing done, like the one-eyed guy, Old Man River, who lived on the hill, and I've seen it done, and I just thought, actually an alien I haven't seen done for a while,
right?
Especially not out of the UK, and that's where the idea came from originally. So it comes from the same sort of character place,
right?
And then just went in a different direction.
Very cool. Now, you are a writer, an actor, a producer, often, and sometimes a director. So you did everything on this film but direct it. What made you decide to sit out that side of things this time around?
Since I did Adulthood and then 4321, I've been looking for the thing I wanted to direct. I write a lot, and I write on my own, and I write with my buddies as well.
Mm-hmm.
We generate a lot of material.
Right.
And sometimes I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm going to direct this, and then by the time we get to it, it's not that I think it's not a good script. I just say I just don't feel like this is the thing that I want to direct next.
Right.
And so we'll hire another director and let them have their director's pass and just be producers and sit back. And this was one of those. I'm a big sci-fi fan, but this kind of wasn't the sci-fi that I wanted to do, and I'm not much of a horror guy. And Johannes, when we hired him, he brought that element to it, and so I just stepped back. But I found the thing I want to do now, so hopefully we should be doing that soon.
Excellent. Should I ask what it is, or can you not talk about it yet?
I can't talk about it.
I figured as much, but it's worth asking.
Yeah, of course.
So your character in this film is very different because you tend to play these sort of cool, kind of badass guys in a lot of your roles. So was that a kind of a purposeful thing to sort of break out of that mold, or how did it come about?
That was the director's idea. I mean, same sort of thing. I guess you kind of. Not that I am a cool, badass guy in real life, but I guess you kind of will write to your strengths, and then it's up to other people to really change it. And so when Johannes got the script, he was like, I've seen you be that cool guy before,
right.
And I want to see you do something different. And so we changed the character completely. Well, he changed the character completely to Charlie, and I was happy to do that, And then I did like something else in a wedding film called The Knot, which was very sort of light-hearted as well. So I think it was a smart move, and I just want to try and be different. So
right.
That was one of those things that could help do that.
And now this film, because you are obviously one of the lead roles in the film. You're even I mentioned I'm a big fan of yours, but you're not as well known in the U.S. as you are in the UK. Obviously, in the UK, you're a lot more well known. Was there a strategy for this film, kind of, your approach to it being released in the U.S.?
Yes, 100% yes. My UK agent and I, I was his first client, and he's now quite a big agent over there, and in Europe and stuff like that. And we've gone through the whole thing together from the beginning, from like being his first client when he graduated from being an assistant and a Kidulthood, and we sat down and we're like, okay, we have so much traction in the UK, and it's doing all right, but we need to plan for the future. And so the the idea was to start making films that would start getting US attention, even if it means that, you know, I sacrifice being a out-and-out actor and just flying over here for pilot season every year and just putting myself up for everything. You kind of sacrifice that and you kind of set up a plan. And so the plan has been a long-term plan and actually started with the last film, which was 4321.
Right.
Where, you know, we got Emma Roberts in. You know, Emma Roberts is in it, Kevin Smith, Alexander Siddig, Helen McCrory, you know, people that do have traction over
right.
here. And the film got released on DVD by Universal. So, you know, that was the beginning. It was a little bit before Emma popped, but obviously she's popped now, so the film's still selling, you know. And that was the beginning, and Stories 24 was part of the plan. The Knot, it's got Mina Savari, Tallulah Riley, and, you know, Shoreline are selling that. I think if I can, this year. So it's definitely, Stories, it's definitely been a steady plan, you know, and that's set to continue. Because, you know, we're trying to do it our way, which isn't the easy way, you know, but, you know, if we can get our stuff financed out of the UK but give them international reach, we maintain a lot more control than if we come over here and have people breathing down our neck.
Right.
You know?
Right, sure. Makes sense. Well, I did enjoy 4321 very much, by the way. And what's the reaction been to Storage 24 from the sci-fi and horror fans? And has it been different in the UK versus the US?
Yeah, I think it's kind of falling between two cracks. Horror fans like it, but the hardcore ones don't. You know, sci-fi fans like it, but the hardcore ones want more sci-fi. You know, so it's doing all right. UK didn't do as well as I would have liked it to do, but internationally, it's been selling very, very well. And loads of countries are picking it up theatrically. And, you know, like I said, you know, I'm not like a academically well-educated. I mean, I was well-educated, but I wasn't very good academically. But, we've watched this stuff, and the plan was, you know, we sat back and we looked at where the other films have sold, and we're like, okay, has your face ever been in the movie theaters in China and Japan? No. How do we get your face in the movie theaters in China and Japan? We make Stories 24, because they don't care about who's in the movie, they care about the monster.
Right.
So now, my face is in the movie theaters in China and Japan. And it has actually been, it hasn't been it hasn't been exactly what we'd hoped, because we'd hoped for more in the UK, but the plan has worked out kind of the way we wanted it to, where now, you know, I've been in the theaters in Japan, I've been in the theaters in China, and that bodes, you know, that helps you in the future. You know, you do another film and they say, well, okay, this guy's alright, but has he ever been in the theaters in China? Yes, he has. Has he ever been in the theaters in Japan? Yes, he has. Oh, Turkey? Yes, he has. This country, do you know what I mean?
Yep.
And so that was the plan. That was the plan.
Very cool. So what's the most challenging role for you? Writer, actor, or director?
I feel like a little of all three, you know, and I tell you why. Writing-wise, because it's the most solitary, you know, and I love writing. You know, I put my heart and soul into things, and then, you know, sometimes they don't get made and they just sit on my laptop, you know, and, you know, for every 10 things I write, maybe 2 will get made.
Right.
And arguably there's better things that will sit on my laptop and never get made, you know. It just depends on timing and stuff like that. So that's kind of frustrating, but, you know, it's time consuming. But so that's a writer, you know, but I love it. Directing, again, you know, I said all three, same sort of thing, because directing, you know, I'm trying to find that thing that's different, you know, and trying to find that thing I want to do. And I have like there's three things that was kind of setting up, 2 of which I'm not in at all, just directing, and 1 of which I am in, which actually weirdly might be the one that goes first that I was talking about. But you know, it's trying to find that thing that's different again, not doing the same thing, not being predictable, not just being the guy that's done those films. And then acting, I feel like acting as well as being a challenge and difficult and rewarding, because I feel like because I didn't do the whole drama school thing, and, you know, I kind of just fell into it. You know, I feel like I've made my errors publicly, and so I think you can see a dramatic improvement from the beginnings
Right.
You know, but whereas a drama school student may have had 3 years of being shouted at to hone that, I've kind of had to learn on the job, and so, you know, it's you sometimes go, well, you know, maybe I could have been doing bigger roles, and then you look back and you go, well, actually, I wasn't really good then. You know?
Right.
But you can see the improvement. You know.
Yep.
I feel like now I'm just, you know, with the recent films, you know, I mean, obviously Adulthood was a phenomenon. That was just different. You know, I knew that material inside out. But you know, stuff after that, I don't always feel has been great. Doctor Who season 1, I was awful on that, and you know, but season 2, I was better. And you look at it, you know, okay, you know, I'm just coming into my own now. I feel, you know.
Right. So let's talk about some of your other roles briefly then. What can you tell us about your role in Star Trek Into Darkness? Anything?
No. I mean, most people have probably seen a lot of it now, because they did, last week they did like 28-minute previews around the world, so I think a few people have seen stuff now, but I still won't say anything just in case.
Okay, fair enough. And how about Saving Santa? What's the voiceover experience been like for you as an actor?
Great. I mean, you know, I've got children now, so I want to do something that they can watch, you know.
Right.
And you know, doing the voiceover in that Martin Freeman movie was just awesome, you know. And it's a nice part. I play an elf called Snowy, which I thought was ironically funny as well. That
Right.
My elf would be called Snowy. You know, and it's really fun. It's really fun, and they were very happy with it. So I can't wait to see the finished result.
Mike, I'm going to have to ask your last question.
Okay. So, quick question. I know you mentioned Doctor Who then, and I know that you've been critical of your role on it in the past. But what's the best thing you took away from that experience?
The best thing I took away from that experience was just, you know, not taking things for granted. I mean, I've never been raised that way, and I never had. But you know, while I was filming season 1, I was in like a car crash in the Utah mountains, and it was in between filming Aliens of London World War III and then leaving and then coming back and filming Boomtown. And the improvement starts at Boomtown and goes from there. And that was because, like, you know, 5 of us were in that crash and we really shouldn't be here now. And that, I know that it wasn't directly part of Doctor Who, but that whole experience and that whole thing is what I took away from there. And I was like, once we didn't die, I was like, okay, we must be here for something. And from that point on, the work rate has been quadrupled.
Great. Well, Noel, thank you so much for your time. I really enjoy watching everything you're putting out, and continued success to you.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.